What's up, guys? Welcome to the DualShockers ShockCast episode 180. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Thomas Luke.
Hey, hey.
Mr. Ryan Meisler.
Hello. Hello.
And George Jimenez.
I'm tired. We're not related, Tony.
Yeah, we're not related because of technical difficulties, and that's why we don't have any energy. So yeah, somebody hit us with those new game releases.
Okay, I guess I'll do them again.
This is
before. You can practice this name again.
I will pretend that I read these all the first time. So for new game releases that are coming out from June 22nd, 2014 to June 29th, 2014 are Unearthed Trail of Ibn Battuta for Ouya, which I still messed up the second time. But anyway, Plat Dude and Battling Ostriches for Ouya, PC, and Brow. Blaze Blue, Chrono. It's Joust. It's what it sounds like. But anyway, Blaze Blue, Chrono Phantasma for Vita and PSN. Atelier Verona Plus, The Alchemist of Arland for PS3 and PSN. X-Blaze Code Embryo for PS3 and Vita. Farming Simulator 14 for Vita. Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark for PS4, Xbox One, 3DS, Wii U, PS3, and Xbox 360. Another World for PS4, PS3, and PSN. Shin Megami this one again. Shin Megami Tensei, Devil Summoner 2, Raidu Kuzunoha versus King Abaddon. God damn.
That was actually a lot better.
You got it. Done.
PS2 Classics for PS3, Blue Estate, the game for PS4, End of Serenity for PSP, RBI Baseball 14 for PS4, Z-Run for PSN, Great Autosport for PS3, Double Dragon Trilogy for Ouya, Valiant Hearts: The Great War for Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, and PC. Tohore's favorite, Tuffy the Corgi and the Power of Bones for PSN.
Yeah.
If that's not your pick of the pick of the week, I'll be surprised. Anyway, Shovel Knight for Wii U, 3DS, and PC. Wii Sports Club Baseball for Wii U, Wii Sports Club Boxing for Wii U, Monkey Pirates for Wii U, Mysterious Stars: The Samurai for DSi, and Sniper Elite 3 for PC, Xbox One, PS4, Xbox 360, and PS3.
All right, what are you picking?
Corgi. Whatever that Corgi game was.
Tuffy the Corgi.
Puppy platformers. I'm all about that shit. Son.
All right. Well, normally I would go with Valiant Hearts: The Great War because I'm reviewing it, but I think Farming Simulator 14 is going to be my pick of the week. Who doesn't love Farming Simulator? If you get if you just get Goat Simulator on the Steam sale and then you get Farming Simulator 14, you're set. You've got your simulators.
Man, you get to review freaking Valiant Hearts. I got to review Atelier. It's not fair.
You're a resident JRPG guy now.
I guess I am, and I'm also reviewing a Battle
Guard, and I'm like, Tony gets to review that.
I'll talk about Battle Princess Arcadias later on. Oh boy. Pick of the week, I'll pick Valiant Hearts. That game looks fucking cool, man. I want that. So that's my pick.
It looks all kinds of sad.
Besides the Corgi game. Come on, son. No? Nothing? George, you're gonna stick with the poodle game?
Yeah.
It's not a poodle, it's a corgi.
Dog's right, you jerk.
All right, fine. Thomas, what about you, man?
Valiant Hearts, easy. But one thing I've heard some bad things about the Transformers game. Apparently, like they sent out no review copies, which is always a bit sus. So.
Oh yeah, it's always a bad
it's
sign.
A bit dodgy.
Dude, let's just be honest. It's a Transformers game.
No, it's a Transformers movie game.
That's right.
The Nun tie-ins are pretty good.
Fun.
Yeah, the ones for Cybertron were pretty good, weren't they?
Yeah. Like a Call of Duty-esque like perks and level up system, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, one based on the movies. No, I'm not expecting that to be Game of the Year right there. So anyway, we've pretty much hit that point where people like to call the summer drought. The thing is, with all these sales going on, like on Steam and on PSN and everywhere else, like, can you actually really have a drought here? I don't. It's kind of interesting, knowing all the games that came out. How do you even have that? But I know you guys have been wanting to talk about Steam for like the entire show, so go for it. It's being recorded now.
I'm looking at Steam as we're speaking right now.
The Steam sale! Basically, all the games that you kind of forgot about throughout the year are all on sale. Or the games you're like, I'm not going to buy it, blah, blah, blah. So for some reason, that same game that's like $7 now totally seems more appealing. Yeah, but I mean, Metal Slug 3 is $271. Of course I'm gonna fucking pick it up. Like,
If you ever wanted to spend an absurd amount of money and then cry about it afterward, the Steam sale's a really good place to go and do it.
yeah, because what'll get you is not the big stuff. Like, yeah, you can probably get like, hey, Final Fantasy 14 is half price. Like, yeah, half price. You're like, oh, that's kind of neat. But what'll get you are these little like $2 and $3 purchases. Like Dragon Age Origins is $7. Brothers is $3. Like Fallout New Vegas, the Ultimate Edition, $6.79. Come on,
Wow.
like someone should yell at you if you don't buy it. That's how
Yeah.
pressure you feel into buying all this stuff. Yeah, and then before you know it, you spend like $60 to $100.
I think like, the big games are a commitment. Like Assassin's Creed 4 for me was half price, which is not $35. That's decent, but it's like I still have to commit $35. But when it's like Dragon Age $7.50, it's just like an easy snap decision like that.
BioShock Infinite, $7.49. That's insane.
Yeah.
Come on,
But
guys.
the summer sale started last week and it runs until the 30th, so it runs until Monday. So there's still lots of good deals to be had. And then typically, I think that the last day is always like the encore sale, so they always bring back like the best sellers or like the biggest sales that they had. So it's kind of like your last chance to pick up stuff you might have missed. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. Is I'm just gonna hold out.
And this is timed with like the kind of lack of major game releases for this time of year, which is great. 'Cause, this is catch-up time.
Yep.
I have a couple of questions about this thing because I'm a console guy. Is there any like kind of rhyme or reason to it, or they just pick random games?
No, it's like like Steam, they always do two big sales. So this is like the first of their big sales of the year. They do a bunch of others in between, but like they do the summer sale now, and then they'll do the winter sale later on. And then they have like I think it's like over 3,000 titles that they discount. But the way they break it down is basically there's like a bunch of daily deals, so you get like a selection of titles that are available at a discount for 24 hours, and then there are also flash sales, which are every 8 hours. So those are the ones that kind of get you the biggest discounts. So those are the ones that you want to be refreshing and checking all the time.
And these are all part of the summer sale too?
Yep, everything's part of the summer sale. So.
Yeah, because that's what I understand. Like, I saw the post about how Steam Summer Sale is not live, but then every single day it seems like there's more games being sold. I'm like, don't they just throw a big list
so like
at you?
what happens is
they change every day.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Thomas. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, pretty much the entire catalog is discounted, but it'll be sort of like 40% off a game, and then on the daily sales, which Ryan was talking about, that's when Assassin's Creed, which might have been 40% off, now goes to 80% off for that day. So that's kind of what you wait for. You wait for a game to hit that daily sale, then buy it, because that's when you get the best deal.
Yeah, you want to try and hit either the daily deals or the flash sales because those give you the biggest discounts. Like normally, like let's say if you're buying like BioShock Infinite and it's like 40% off regularly. If it's like right now it's a daily deal for 75% off. So you want to try and wait until it hits like either a daily deal or a flash sale when you're going to get a much higher discount on it.
Yeah, and don't forget about the metagame, the summer adventure that's going on. So to kind of get you going is they put you there. They always do some weird metagame every Steam summer sale. So this year is the summer adventure. So and then everyone gets randomly put on a team. So like I'm on red team, and basically the more I buy, the more badges I get, and then collectively any of the million people who are also on red team, all our badges gather up, and then at the end of the day they tally who made the most badges. And if your team wins, they randomly select 30 people to get 3 games on their wish list for free.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that just, of course people are like, this is fixed, blah, 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 but that's motivation for you to be like, well, I got to buy because if, red team wins, that means I could be one of those 30 people who gets 3 games on my wish list. And then basically you just put something that's coming out in the future that's super expensive and then get it for free, which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's like I know like a lot of people complain about the fixed thing because apparently there's a lot of people going on like Reddit and like coordinating and all that stuff to like try and craft like certain badges that'll get their team placed higher and all that stuff. So.
Okay.
But it changes every day, so it's like every team kind of has a chance to win.
Oh, what are some really cool games that you guys have bought, not just on this sale, but in previous Steam sales?
Oh, in previous, like I've picked up some stuff in the past. I think I got like I don't know, like I'm just looking at my stuff that I picked up at this Steam sale so far. This is like I've kind of gone pretty hard on this sale, but I picked up the Far Cry collection, so it comes with all 4 of the Far Cry games. I picked up Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition because I never got around to playing that. Let me see what else.
Yeah, those big bundles are always really good.
Yeah,
that's something I miss them because like you used to have always like those indie bundles would just be like 10 random games like every day, and like you'd buy it for I think it was like $10, and you just get some fun. And so I think that's where a lot of my backlog came from, just like those bundles where you get games which you hadn't really heard about, but could be kind of fun.
I mean, like the Far Cry bundle was like $15, but you get 4 games out of it, and then like I also got like I got a bunch of bundles. Like I got the Max Payne bundle, so it has Max Payne 1 and 2. I got a Borderlands bundle, so it has Borderlands 1 and 2. So those are always, I think, really good. No matter what the price, I think they're always good deals.
Yeah, I go for those big franchise bundles, so like the Sega bundle or like the Ubisoft bundle, and then they're like for $50 you literally get like 35 games that are all like Sega or Ubisoft. I like when they do like the Sega Classics. They did that bundle a while back where you had all these like old school games just put in a bundle. Oh man, like it's rough because you will spend a ton of money because it's not the big purchase. It's a little tiny $2 one, the $1 here. $1 indie game, and before you know it,
that's why I don't use my credit card at the Steam sale. I only use gift cards because I don't want to like wind up with a huge credit card statement. So
yeah, you got to control yourself somehow, right?
Yeah, so I just use gift cards. So
the other obvious question is like, okay, have you finished off all the games you bought from last year's Steam sale?
No, it's not why you do it.
Tony, that was a good joke. I liked your joke there. So.
Seriously, man.
No, I mean, it's one of those, because when you consider that, like, so far I've spent probably at least like $50 to $60, so, for the price of, a full price, for a full retail game, that I could have gotten for a console, I've gotten, probably at least 15 to 20 other games out of that. So it's too good of a deal.
Think of it as like Black Friday for just digital games. It's amazing. Yeah. And like the prices are too good to give up. And but like you end up buying so much you play maybe if you're lucky you play maybe half of them throughout the year. But a lot of times I just buy games because if they're on sale I do it just like to support the developer. So like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 were on sale last year for like $3 or $4. I've played and beaten those games 24 times, but it's like, hey, you know what? I don't own it on Steam. Let me throw some money that way, so that way, BioWare can see some royalty from that. But I do little things like that, especially when it's a developer I like, or there's some sort of admiration I have for that title. So I'll be like, yeah, I like these games. So am I gonna play it? God, no, fuck no, like never gonna happen. But why not?
What about hard drive space? Does that ever become an issue?
No,
because like I usually
you tend not to download the stuff, so like
right, yeah,
unless you actually want to play it, so it's not a huge issue.
Yeah,
okay, so you just have it in your download list or something, right?
Like, yeah.
Your Steam library just has a list of like all the games that you own, and then you just like you can install it or delete it whenever you want. So that's what I only keep like a certain like the games that I play all the time I keep installed, and then like whatever I'm playing at the moment I'll keep installed, and then once I finish it I'll just delete it. So.
Yeah. By the way, I'm looking at a tweet now because I was on Twitter raging over this ShockCast situation, and David's like, "I sabotaged it, our former host." Motherfucker, I knew it was you. Okay, I want to ask you, what do you guys think about all these other sales that are coming up now? Do you think they're trying to mimic the success of Steam, like PSN has one, even Ubisoft is having one? It's like everybody's having a summer sale now.
Good. I like games cheap.
Yeah, I think it's good. I actually that was one of the big things that I liked with like when PSN started doing it and Xbox Xbox Live started doing it, like following that model, because like it even though like I kind of go more to Steam for digital games, like having that option of getting like I think like last year I got Tomb Raider. I played it on 360. I got it for $20. Like it was on sale, which was a good deal at the time. So.
Yeah, it makes you play, and it makes you buy and maybe play games that you weren't even really thinking about. But when you see that, like most people maybe won't play Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, but when they see it's $3 and it's like, oh, I've heard some good things about it, I wasn't really quite sure. It's like if you hate the game, you've only spent $3, and that's the way I'm seeing, and that's the way I see it. Because there's a lot of games I'm just kind of iffy about, especially like some indie games like like Bleed or like Binding of Isaac, which I think I've only played twice, but I'm like I actually really want to play this game. It's 99 cents. Like, it's not going to hurt me. I'll get to it eventually, but at least this way I have it, and it's so much
The other thing is, I bought Rayman Legends because it was on a flash sale, because it's like, last year when that came out, I didn't buy it because I was playing something else, but it's another way of bringing games to my attention that sort of slipped past a year or two back.
Yeah, especially like you said, Tony, like it's at a good time when it's in the summer when, there aren't as many releases coming out, so it's a perfect time to kind of have that.
Yeah, and then the other thing I was thinking about is because everybody always talks about that. Because I mean, it's even called the summer drought for a reason, Don. But I mean, with all these sales, do you think it's even justified to call it that? There's not. You can't really have a drought anymore with so many games on sale now.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, I think the drought is kind of just more for new releases, But when you take into consideration like Steam and then like Good Old Games is probably going to be doing, or Green Man Gaming, I think is probably going to be doing their sale shortly after this. Because traditionally for me, the summer was kind of my time to catch up on backlog and just go through titles. Not that the Steam sale really helps that, but
It's making things
I was
worse.
to say, it's just like I feel like I finish one title and then the Steam sale I end up buying 12 more, but Yeah, no, but I think the Steam sale, is a good part of that, sort of summer thing, like just helping you get new titles and new games to play when there aren't as many new releases coming out.
Yeah, it's interesting how things have changed though. Because I remember there was a time where there really was a summer drought. I'd be like, oh my god, I have no games to play. Now it's like I have too much to play during the entire year.
I feel like that's becoming less and less of a thing though, because like especially now that you're getting games like Watch Dogs that released in May, or last year we had The Last of Us that released in June. So I feel like even though there aren't it's not like November or March when there's like tons of stuff coming out, but you're now you're getting those one or two games that'll come out during the summer and be able to hold you over until stuff starts coming out in the fall.
Yeah, and usually May is when Rockstar would release their games too, so they kind of buck that trend too, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah, but they still
Rockstar is the one that kind of comes to mind for me because I remember when Red Dead came out a couple years ago in May, and that was all I played all summer pretty much was because that game was able to hold me over for a whole summer.
That is a game that could hold you over for the entire summer too.
Yeah, that or L.A. Noire I played for a while too. So
that's a game that's always on sale, so you can always find it for like $5.
Oh yeah, the L.A. Noire is a pretty frequently on sale one.
But it's so amazing, guys. Come on.
I like L.A. Noire.
I like a lot of people gave it shit. I really like that game.
Because I think they were expecting a Grand Theft Auto, and that just wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's an open world game doesn't mean it's Grand Theft Auto. A lot of people were saying that about Watch Dogs too. Like, how come this isn't like Grand Theft Auto? It's not supposed to be.
It's a different game.
Yeah, exactly. It's not called Grand Theft Auto. Do you see Grand Theft Auto on the box? No. So stop it. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm all for these sales, obviously, because sales are good. It just makes the backlog a lot worse.
Doesn't hurt because it means you technically will always have something to play.
Yes, this is true. All right, so that's about that. So let's get into some crazy stuff happened this week. Actually, PlayStation Now. People aren't very happy with the pricing on it.
No shit.
Yeah, I mean, what is this like? What's the cheapest one? It's like $15 for 3 months, and that's only one game, right?
No, I like the $5 for 3 hours or some nonsense like that.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Let me pull up the pricing right now.
Yeah, pull up the pricing, please.
Yeah, actually, this is interesting because I haven't actually read about the pricing. I knew it was probably going to be really expensive, but I guess we'll get a good laugh out of this and see what the pricing actually is.
So I just pulled this up really quick. So let's say Final Fantasy 13-2. Yeah, okay. For 4 hours, $5. For 7 days. You
can't even finish the tutorial for that game in 4 hours.
Cheap joke.
7 days is $8. 30 days is $14, and 90 days is $30. Okay, fine. You can buy that game used for about $20.
And play it forever.
And play it and own it forever.
I think for what was it? It was 7 days for $8.
7 days for $8, which is actually not too bad.
That's not too bad because when I think back to when I used to rent games at Blockbuster and stuff like that, that was pretty much that same price. I think it was maybe
3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah, I think it was about 4 or 5 days for a new game release if you rented it back then, back when Blockbusters actually existed.
But it really depends on the game because it's when you think of the Transformers, you know what? I'll pay $8 to try it out for a week.
Yeah, but something like
the achievements or I get the trophies.
Yeah, something like Final Fantasy, you're gonna need a lot more than 8 days to finish. So.
But you have to use your discretion. I guess maybe when you think about it, maybe $30 for 90 days. It's you're eventually gonna trade it in anyway at some point.
Yeah,
but I think I would have preferred a subscription service or at least some sort of tiered structure where it's I would pay $50 a month.
I think the expectation for PlayStation Now when it was first announced was that it would be Netflix for games. So it'd be $7 or $8 and you get access to whatever, which would have been awesome if they were able to do that, but just with the amount, it probably wasn't going to happen.
Right. But like, I think they should switch to a subscription model. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, the used copy of Final Fantasy 13.
$100 a month for.
No, I was thinking, like, no, but seriously though, what do you think about maybe $70 a year or something? Would that be like
No,
good?
I don't think they could do $70 a year.
What about $100 a year?
no.
I don't think. If
you
they're
can't-
charging $30 for 90 days, it's not going to happen to be able
That's
to do
because
that
they're
for a
being
year.
overpriced, dude. I think it's like this is digital shit. You know, why do you have to? Pay
Well,
for
here's
it?
the thing. You have to think when you do a year, and Michael Pachter talk about this when you get free games. The company who makes the game has to get a cut. So think of like Netflix. They have to pay royalties for everything that's there. So an average game is $60. So that means if you do $100 a year for everything, that means the developer who makes whatever game you're playing is maybe roughly getting 75 cents every time you download.
Yeah, but this isn't their primary means of getting the most of their money. You know what I mean? It's just like a side thing.
No,
You
it's
know,
gotta
that's
be. It would for it to work. It would have to be a monthly subscription that's fairly high. So like, I think if you pay the price of a game a month to access a full library of games, I think that's fair. I
You know
don't.
what? Yeah, you're
I
right
don't
about
think the
that.
price structure works because if you go by a title basis, the numbers don't make any sense.
Yeah, they really don't. Yeah, you know what? $60 a month because you're right. That's just a game.
Yeah, most people buy a game a month, and if you tell me for $60 a month, I can get away with downloading and maybe well not download but streaming practically. Like I think that's more fair. And then like I said, it's still in beta. I think they're gonna find that sweet spot. And like I think the 30 days for $14 because when you do it per title, that's expensive, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, it has to be 60 for the entire thing, not just for one title. That's ridiculous, you know.
But I think they're gonna play around with these numbers a bit.
Yeah, they need to adjust it. That's the other thing because I'm in the beta now, but I'm like, wait, I don't want to pay for all this stuff.
But wait, if you're in the beta, do you have to pay these amounts? Or...
Yes, like otherwise you can't touch the games.
Because I figure for the beta, they should just make them free, and then
No, they're not free at all. That's what I assumed. I got into the beta. I'm like, why do I have to pay $3 for this game? I'm like, what the hell's going on here? You know?
Really, you should try and see if they're actually. Oh no, you know what? It was if you were in the beta prior to it, people were playing the games for free because there wasn't no pricing attached. So it was more to see like, does this work? But yeah, it's weird to do that in a beta to charge people money, unless they do what they did with like Retribution Blacklight, is just we're gonna refund your PlayStation money points so you can rent more nonsense. But yeah, I'd like to see that turn into a subscription service, just because these numbers they don't quite add up. Because I mean, like if I'm gonna pay $30 for 90 days, I might as well just own the game, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're right, man. They need to work out the kinks because it's a little steep right now.
And it makes me wonder how the games are actually working. You know, if the games are working fine, or I worry about someone like Thomas who's all the way in like Australia, and I was like, I don't know what his broadband's like, and like, will you be able to handle the like 40 gig download of a Final Fantasy 13 too?
I mean, most people we still have capped internet for the most part, so you go over, and for most people that's not more than 50, 100 gigabytes a month. So most people aren't really going to be able to use it that effectively.
You're about to choke.
I do that on my phone every month, man.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because look at all these internet problems we're having with this show tonight. It's like, how good is this thing gonna be? Because I played PlayStation Now at E3, but think about it. It's just there. It's an enclosed environment. Of course, it's gonna work well.
Yeah,
I don't know what's gonna happen if I try to play tonight. You know.
We're doing it from a remote server in the next room. Like, it's tough to get a gauge whether that stuff works because they probably have a data center right there in LA. So. Who knows?
It's like, what if I want to try PlayStation Now, right now, after this show, with this shitty internet I have tonight? It ain't going to flow. So
Tony,
that's the other thing they need to kind of take into consideration, too.
Tony's like, they should call it PlayStation right now.
Yeah, PlayStation right now. So, you just got to work out the kinks. All right, next thing. So, Xbox One is coming to Japan on September 4th. They got a list of all the games. I was going to read all these. When you guys pull them up, just highlight some of the good ones. And it's actually selling pretty well over there. The pre-orders have been just selling out and stuff. So I'll be honest with you, and not to sound too racist, I'm surprised. I thought the Japanese were like, fuck this shit. It's Western. We don't want to touch it. Apparently they do. So that's pretty cool.
No, yeah, and it is, I think, surprising, just given because the 360 bombed so badly, in Japan when it released.
And
but I pulled up the launch lineup. If you want me to go through that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need to go through all 70 games. Just any games that kind of stick out to you.
Well, I had the list I have has okay. So this is just the quick list that I have from here. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, Child of Light, Crimson Dragon, Dead Rising 3, FIFA 14, Forza Motorsport 5, Halo Spartan Assault, Killer Instinct, Kinect Sports Rivals, Loco Cycle. What else do we have? Murdered Soul Suspects, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, Rise, Son of Rome, Strider, Thief.
Basically, it's pretty much
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
games
a
in
lot
the
of-
current Xbox One library are going to be available at launch for.
Yeah, pretty much all the launch titles, and then like a bunch of titles that were released like in the last 6 months, like Titanfall, Tomb Raider is going to be there, Thief. So
Do they have any like Japanese specific games that are coming out?
not that I see, not in this list. I don't know if there are
a lot
more.
of coming soon stuff like Natsuki Chronicle or they're really pushing like the Evil Within and all that kind of nonsense. Like, but
Yeah.
but I don't see any like Japanese specific
No, I don't either. But
Yeah. Psycho Pass. Like that's all stuff
I
coming
guess
out.
other than like Dead Rising 3 because it's made by Capcom, but
But you see, I don't think it's entirely true that they would not be into like Western things because like yeah, they all have iPhones, which is primarily a Western thing.
Yeah, that's true.
I think I think there's certain things about Western cultures other countries will adopt, like video games and stuff, or like our technology that will be good. It just has to resonate a little bit with them. And also, I think at a glance, I think the Xbox One does look cooler than an Xbox 360, or just just looks like a nice little piece of hardware you can put in your nightstand or something. But that's not
kind of
bad
the
for
problem with
at
the-
launch having access to like 70 games. That's
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. That's a good launch lineup right there. The reason I was bringing up the whole, that I'm surprised about this is because, I mean, that's been the prevailing thing. The Japanese have said Westerners make crappy games, but we've pretty much been running things for the last 10 years now, so that's not really the case anymore. So, but I read this maybe like 2 or 3 years ago where some people still believe that, some Japanese people still believe that Westerners make shitty games, so they won't support us.
I don't think that's entirely true. I think that we just don't make the games they like. Maybe they're we sit here like Monster Hunting here in this country does fine. In Japan, it's like holy shit, Monster Hunter's out. We need to take off from work for a week and play it's just certain genres do better in certain regions of the world. So
yeah.
And you think of the Xbox 360, that was primarily just first-person shooters and then third-person action games. Like they may not, it just probably doesn't sit well with them.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
But
Yeah, I mean, like
maybe
you
they're gonna
only think of like the 360, and like the only bone I could think that they threw at them when the 360 launched was Blue Dragon when they released that with the 360, and that did terribly in the.
Yeah, there
Lost
was a couple other
Lost
RPGs.
Odyssey?
Like,
Oh, man,
yeah,
Lost Odyssey was
Discovered Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was like 3 big Japanese games that came out, and then that was it. That's no more came out for the 360.
Think
really.
about what most people's problem is when a new console comes out is the kind of lack of games at launch. So you're telling me a new console comes out and I have 70 games to choose from? That's really
pretty
not.
good,
You're gonna find something you like in that.
That is true. So yeah, good on them.
Good for you. And a lot of people were like, Microsoft shouldn't even bother in Japan, which is such a stupid argument. It's like you're just gonna. That's your business approach. Is just you didn't do well last time, just don't do it anymore. It's like no, you just figure out what to do right. That's a very lazy business model. Like, yeah, you have to work a little bit harder. Let's not bother. Let's have all this potential money just kind of sit there because we may have to learn Japanese or what their culture is like. Like no.
Full disclosure, I was one of those idiots. So I was like, don't even bother with Japan.
Great when I get to call you a fool. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm doing this for you, George. Anyway, something else I want to talk about. You know how to throw this in there. The Metal Gear Solid video that I saw at E3 was available for everyone to see. George, I want to talk to you specifically. What did you think, man? Wasn't that Peace Walker?
The gameplay demo. I thought you were talking about the trailer with all the fucking knives and the bone ash. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, not that. The 30-minute demo.
Gameplay. Yes, that was a fantastic demo. And when we said it's like Peace Walker but huge, I'm like, yeah, it is. That's fantastic.
I told you, man.
And my biggest Metal Gear problem is I never thought the controls were any good for Metal Gear. Like the best controlling Metal Gear was Peace Walker. On the 360 or PS3 because they got to use 2 sticks, which was like, whoa, that's revolutionary. But yeah, it looked fine. I mean, I like the Ground Zero control, so it looks like they're back again. I love the Fulton thing where you can just Fulton a sheep or a tank or a jeep or just dudes. Like that's pretty awesome. I love the Mother Base tour and how it can be attacked and you can pieces. Like that's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. It just kind of we sit there. I'm like, oh, that game looks pretty complete to me. I don't know how far along it is, but I'm like, this looks pretty done. But they're like, yeah, not coming out till next year. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, no, Kojima needs to work on that blade of grass and level 2. You got to get that just right before this game releases.
And there's also a possibility that it's a lot of game. There's like, this is 200. It's 200 times bigger than Ground Zeroes, and I'm like, that could be a little bit misleading. Could just be a lot of nothing in between places.
Yeah, because it's Afghanistan. That place is pretty much a barren wasteland. So I could believe it.
Mostly mountains, valleys, and villages. So. We'll see how that works. But I like the horse stealth thing. Looks really stupid, and the horse poops. That's kind of ridiculous.
That was classic Kojima, though. The horse just takes a shit.
I love that your cardboard box is super magical because you can pop open, you can close it, and then you can pop out the front. I'm like, boxes don't work like that. You saw what he did, where he jumped out the back of the box, and I'm like, wait, no, boxes are not. And then the box just is perfectly still, and the closes again, and I'm like, these boxes are fucking amazing. Like, this is what your R&D report. Yeah, you can recruit people, put them in R&D where they can make equipment for you. It's like, we just made a cardboard box, and it gets airdropped in, and you can drop airdrops on people, which is fantastic. So.
It's a very high-tech box, George.
Oh, is it? It's a box of the future.
It's like crazy technology, man.
I like how Snake's metal arm can shake as a rattler, and you can just like attract people even if you're not behind cover. You can just go. It comes out. That's a pretty.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, one of my friends, Kyle Gatto, he said that they should call this game Metal Gear Solid 5 The Fulton Pain, because that's all you saw in this demo. It was great.
It was hilarious, and I like that because I thought tonally the game was getting like a little bit too dark to the point where I don't want to play a game that's a complete bummer throughout. I like that it kept some levity in there where it's like. It's kind of, yeah, okay, fine. The Fulton incident is total bullshit, but it's kind of hilarious, and you need that considering some of the like. More like adult and just like really dark themes it's going with, and I was just like, I kind of need that. But then again, that is going to be weird how like the tone of the gameplay is going to be different than the tone of like the storytelling that's going in, especially if they're really going to go down this like really dark and gritty route. Even though, oh, here's a horse pooping, like that's going to be odd. It might have the same issue as maybe like a Wolfenstein, where it's like they want to tell this really dark, gritty story, but then your guy kills a Nazi while he's sleeping, and he goes, 99, and I was like, oh.
Damn, there was another game that was like that too. It's like this game is really funny gameplay-wise, but the story is pretty heavy. Yeah. There's something recent like that. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like they're going to be at odds with each other. But I kind of, like I said, I kind of personally like that myself because you need that levity in there because it's too heavy. You know,
I would always play Metal Gear. I mean, as much as I'm its biggest critic, I will always play Metal Gear. Like I'm usually there day one playing it and just sitting through that story. Like, what nanomachines? What? Why? What? I don't get this. What? Lally Lule. But you play through it. You just kind of you give yourself up to the like absurdity of Metal Gear, and you just play through and see what happens. But
yeah, and you love every second of it.
Yeah, you kind of enjoy it, or even you like hate play it for a while, even if you're not really big on the story, just because it's something it's something new and that it's ridiculous, and sometimes you need to sit through something ridiculous to feel alive.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. And more Metal Gear news. So David Hayter, he went on Twitter again saying, "I'm not going to be in Metal Gear Solid 5. Stop asking me about it."
I feel like no one's asking him, honestly.
No, they are. People are still going, "You're going to be in it, right? You're going to be in it." No. I mean, he got to the point where he got fed up with it. He's like, "Listen, guys, seriously, I'm not in the game. They didn't ask me. Stop it."
So how much do you feel like this is like an epic trolling thing? Where he's
that's like the comments on that article, like, "Oh, I don't believe you."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Thomas, say that again.
A lot of the comments on that article that about David Hayter not being in it, it's just like, "Oh, I don't believe you. It's going to be a troll. He's definitely going to be in it."
Yeah, and I'm
because there's that history of that kind of thing.
Yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, it's kind of like you guys are. This is wishful thinking. It's not going to happen. They're not going to tell. I don't know. I really don't see. Like, if this is a troll that's going on, this is going to be a troll on the level of Joaquin Morgan. It's going to be like that. So who knows? But I doubt it.
And also, to be perfectly honest, I didn't really find David Hayter's performance as Solid Snake all that great. It's just.
Look, I'm gonna be really honest here.
Gravelly, gruff voice soldier. Like we've heard that before. Like we've heard.
Yeah, I think
any decent voice actor can do that Solid Snake voice. But
he just had such like long ties to the series that like I guess yeah. But
look, I'll say this: as much as I love David Hayter,
all right, he doesn't need to be here.
Yeah, no. As much as I love David Hayter, I was one of the people. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. They kind of need a little bit more of a serious actor because David Hayter's putting on a voice. Kiefer Sutherland's not really doing too much on voice. He's pretty much just talking as himself, just angry. You know,
He's doing a tired Jack Bauer, which I always appreciate.
Yeah. So people just give it up, just stop. I mean, and think about it like this: you can just decide, you know what, he's not going to be in the game, and if he is in the game, you can be pleasantly surprised. But if he's not, then don't worry about it.
He'll probably voice the Solid Snake that kills Big Boss. Spoiler alert, but it happens.
It happened already. Oh man. So yeah,
I kind of wish that's that twist of the game where it's like 3/4 through, you just play a Solid Snake going through Zanzibar and fighting fucking Gray Fox in a minefield, and then you have to kick the shit out of Big Boss.
Will he be naked though?
Oh, he better be.
that'll be Big Boss just strips. I'm naked Snake again. I can't do it against Kiefer Sutherland. I'm naked Snake again. Damn it.
Oh, I'm out of time.
I'm out of time. Where's the bomb? All right. Speaking about really dark and heavy games, The Last of Us Remastered. This is nice. It's gonna only cost $50 because people already played this game.
Should have been 40.
I agree. It should have been 40. And here's something interesting.
Sorry. What was Tomb Raider? Was that 40?
No, that was 60. That was 60.
Really?
Yep.
60?
The PC version was 50. The definitive one.
Yeah. The definitive one for consoles was $60.
Damn.
So this one is 50. And here's the thing, because apparently when the pre-order went up for this game, it was $60, but now that they brought it down to 50, they're giving people a $10 discount, so that's nice. But I'm with George. Should have been $40. This game is old.
I think so, yeah. Or at least given like a better option, I think, for people that already own the game to get like a discount on it.
I mean, it is including the DLC.
It is.
And I guess some of the multiplayer DLC on there too. So I'm like, value-wise, I mean, I guess so. That's like the equivalent of getting the season pass on there, so or whatever the DLC to add it up.
Yeah, and Left Behind is a really good DLC too, man.
I mean, I'll probably get it because I never played the DLC, and I actually really kind of like that multiplayer. And
Interesting.
I like the link that you can do with your multiplayer. You can hook up your Facebook there, so the survivors that die are like your Facebook friends. So it's like Tony Polanco died of malaria. I'm like, Tony. Like,
it was fucking Oregon Trail, man.
It was like so and so got killed in like a gun mishap, and you're like, oh, that sucks. Or this person died of hunger because you have to you pick fireflies or the crazies or something, and you kind of have to keep your camps up. So that's really neat. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and then the other thing about this game is supposedly there may be a bundle with the PS4. This was listed on French Amazon, so make of that what you will.
Amazon France is a very reliable source for leaks because like I've reported on probably at least 5 from Amazon France. So.
And they've all come true.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
They pulled the trigger a little too early on a lot of that stuff because I think a lot of their e-commerce, like when they set up those little thumbnails of like those pages, I think they're supposed to be scheduled, and a lot of times they just don't give a fuck and be like, all right, I'm done. Publish.
Just put it up. We'll make it live.
Yeah, but yeah, it's kind of interesting that they would be doing that. But then again, it makes sense because that is one of the biggest games for that came out for PS3. So this would be a good bundle for PS4 for those who haven't even bought it yet.
Yeah.
And it has all the bells and whistles, right? 1080p, 60 frames, all that shit.
When you think about it, if you've never played or purchased the game before, then you're just $60 is just the price of a new game. Like I guess
pretty much.
I guess because since we played it already, we just kind of like, nah, I should pay less for it. But I don't think they're doing it for me. They're doing it. It's like, no, we want to give something to people who went to the new console or.
Well, I mean, there's a fair number of guys I know who they bought a 360, but they've gone to a PS4, and so for them, they never played Last of Us on the PS3. So I think that's kind of part of who it's sort of aimed at, that group who never played it on PS3.
New to me.
Yeah, I'll probably still end up buying it anyway because I really like that game.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, and I'm actually at the point where I want to play it again because I remember after playing it, I'm like, I love this game. I don't want to play it again. This is too heavy. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I think I'm good.
Enough time has passed for you to grieve. Like
exactly.
It's over.
It's just those first 10 minutes, man. I remember I played that game.
Just an option just to skip that opening, honestly.
Oh God. Dude, and I played that beginning because my friend came over. He actually gave the game to me. Like, it was just 10 a.m. I'm still kind of tired. I'm playing this game. When I wake up, I'm a little bit emotionally unstable, right? So I'm playing this game. I'm like, oh, God, why? That's horrible. I don't know if show me this in the morning.
You sound like a mental patient. Like, what is
it's like, oh, God, no, why the little girl? Spoiler alert.
So this is how Tony plays. This is how Tony plays video games. Mystery solved.
And then later on in the day, I'm just going, yo, that's fun.
Tony's first 2 hours of every morning. It's just
Yeah, exactly. It's just a jumbled mess, and then everything gets straightened. Yeah, and then at night, of course, I just be playing.
Yelling and tears and just feces on the wall. Like, what's going on in your place?
Dude, in my mind, I don't know what's happening there. I don't want to know. Now I'm thinking about that other scene. Yeah. Oh my god, that game was horrible. Actually,
let's not talk about Last of Us. I want to like go to bed with like good dreams tonight.
Yeah. Oh, we're about to end this just fine. Happy birthday, 23rd birthday to Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah. You're like, fuck it, I don't care about him. I want to bring that up. What are some of you guys' favorite Sonic games? My favorite of all time is Sonic CD. I love that game, man, to death.
My favorites? I really liked Sonic Adventure 2 a lot. That one was really, really fun.
Ooh, yeah, you're right. I like that one too.
Sonic Adventure 2 was great. Awesome music, and by awesome I mean terrible to listen to now, but at the time it was fantastic. But there was one. I think it was Sonic. I have to look it up. Sonic R, I think was the name of it. It was like a racing game. It was a really random one, but that one was fun too. But yeah, I mean, I haven't really enjoyed later Sonic games as much because they've kind of gone downhill most of the time. But they really. Oh, Sonic Advance also is an excellent Sonic game. Good one.
I like Sonic and Knuckles. Always kind of sticks out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good
Sonic
one.
and Knuckles with Sonic 3 on top.
Yes.
I think that was maybe the best Sonic game, or maybe Sonic 2. Sonic 2 is really good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with me, I pretty much love all the 2D Sonics. After Sonic Adventure, they kind of lost me. Sonic Adventure was interesting.
We can agree that like Sonic 2 is the best Sonic game, right?
That
is safe assumption.
I'm gonna say okay, because there's a distinction. Yes, I will say that is the best Sonic game. My favorite is still Sonic CD, though. You understand what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes. That has a place in your heart.
Some people don't seem to make that decision. What do you mean? If it's your favorite, that means it's the best. No.
But I also like that Sonic Adventure because if you had the Dreamcast, you get your little Chow Chow on your VMU, and you can
bringing it back.
That was really awesome. Like that was a good use of like really dumb peripherals. It's like it's your memory card that you can play with. I'm like, what? What? Holy shit!
Dude, I remember when I got Sonic's Adventure on the day it came out, 9/9/99. Remember that?
9/9/99. Yes, I love those commercials. Amazing.
Yeah, man. And then like just the beginning scene where you're just going down the beach and that whale's just destroying stuff. Remember that? That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then I replayed the game a few years later. I'm like, this game isn't that good, is it?
It's horrible. And when you go back, it's kind of like the worst thing ever.
But the thing is, if you go back to Sonic 2, you're still like, this is still great.
It holds up. I mean, a good platformer holds up after all this time. I mean, some people who go back and play Super Mario World, it's just something about it that just like it just works.
Oh yeah, Super.
How about
Mario
you, Thomas? Were you a Sonic person?
There's a reason I've been quiet. It's because, no, I haven't really ever played a Sonic. I played bits and pieces, but I've never sat down and played a full Sonic game.
I should boot you from this call right now.
Well, see,
I don't feel like am I going to blaspheme when I say it?
See, there's the thing about Sonic. Unless you've played Sonic in the past, you have no appreciation for it because current Sonic games suck.
Yes.
But you can't say that about Mario games because some people are like, oh, I like Mario Sunshine. That's my favorite Mario game. You know what? That's a great fucking Mario game. So if you tell me that was your first and favorite, I'm okay with that. But like, what are you gonna say your favorite Sonic game is? Oh, All-Star Racing. I'm like, what? I mean,
I think just Sonic has gone through so many different games and so many genres and all that. I think a lot of that is dependent on kind of nostalgia, like just nostalgia for the original games, they can't live up to those.
And it's like clockwork. Every year they keep trying to force Sonic down our throat with like a new gimmick. I think if we gave Sonic a break for like 3 or 4 years and then just bring back this really weird 2D, like updated 2D version of it, I think people will go nuts again. But like, I think it needs to be
longer than 3 or 4 years. I think it needs
long enough for people.
Brian's like, give it a generation.
It has to be long enough for people to be like, oh man, it'd be cool. What if a Sonic game came out? People are like, yeah, right. Remember Sonic? Like that. Like, you need that conversation to happen, but that won't happen if giving him like scarves and like.
That's honestly like at E3 was like one of the absolute like surprise things I wished for was like a Crash Bandicoot, just like just a new one to come out, just because that would be awesome.
10 years, like 10 years, like when you tell your kids and it's like, oh man, Dad, have you ever heard of this Sonic game? And I'm like, yes, why? It's like, yeah, they're coming out. It looks awesome. Like, they did it. They finally did it right. Like, I feel it's gonna be like that. Like, we're gonna be old men by the time they make a decent Sonic game, because I feel like it's still Sega's franchise, but it's like they kind of have to let it go. Like, I don't know. Just Sonic.
It's interesting you bring out Crash Bandicoot, because that kind of had exactly the same thing as Sonic, whereas like by the end it was just like, no, we've had enough of all these like little gimmicky things where you're making a new game
You had a
every
racing
year.
game too, right?
Stop.
Because you go back.
Yeah, no, they did. My friend had that, and it was okay, but it was still like, stop with all the Crash Bandicoot, please.
Yeah, you go back to like the original 3 Crash Bandicoot games, and they still are fantastic. They hold up really, really well. But you go and play like the ones that came after on like PS2 and all that stuff, and they're just not. They just don't hold up as well.
Yeah, it's a damn shame, man. You're right about that, because till this day, Mario still has really good games. Sonic, not so much. And I remember Sonic 4. Because I was like, when I saw it, the trailer, I'm like, oh my god, this is it. It's a 2D Sonic game just with some 3D stuff. That's fine. Then you actually play. It's like, what's wrong with it? Why does it continue?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was actually not bad. But at this point, we were so like desensitized to Sonic. People were just like, I don't care. Like,
nah, dude. I remember like they messed up the controls with that. I'm like, wait, did the old games control this badly? Then I went back to the Sonic one. I'm like, no, it controls fine. There's something.
Button. All 3 buttons did the same thing. How did they do it?
Okay, when you run, you can like if you hit forward, you go up, a hill, no problem. In that game, I don't know what happened. Sonic just stops halfway up the hill. It's like, no, you're supposed to keep going, Sonic. What's wrong with you, man? Yeah, that game was just like fucked up in so many ways. That really, I remember on my blog, I wrote a really scathing editorial about that because I was so angry that they messed up Sonic's like, here it is, it's 2D, and you guys screwed it up. Stop the franchise. Man.
I feel the same way about Sonic. Well, when people have that argument, I always go back to like comic books, and it's like, hey, listen, your favorite Sonic still exists. It's out there in some way, shape, or form.
In another world.
Yeah, it does. These new Sonics or new comics don't diminish what you grew up with. It doesn't lessen that. Like the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles is ruining my childhood. I'm like, really? Like, do you somehow is watching this movie gonna make you forget about all the good Ninja Turtles all of a sudden? Where this weird version is going to be the only version you know. It's like, no, that's not how it works, moron. Like,
that movie looks terrible, by the way, just saying.
Really? I think it looks kind of neat.
It looks fucking horrible, dude. I'm sorry.
I think it looks bad.
I think it looks
like shit.
I'm gonna watch it. And like probably gonna. I was sitting there. I was like, was my childhood ruined? Like, no, I'm not gonna magically forget the CBS Saturday morning cartoons. Like, no, those were fucking awesome. There was.
Oh man, so yeah,
stuff that was awesome.
So yeah, hopefully Sonic will come back in a good form. I mean, dude, we see 2D games getting reborn. Like Strider was fucking great. Bring a Sonic back like that, or like Mighty Number 9. That's what I want.
Just take a Kickstarter, Tony.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a fool. Anyway, let's wrap this up with what we've been playing. I'll start this off. Battle Princess of Arcadia is one of these weirdo Japanese games where you're like, who are you made for, and why are you brought to America? I don't understand this. It's like a hybrid of an action game and like an RPG. The action game
based on an anime.
Is it based on an anime?
I'm asking, is it based on an anime?
I have absolutely no idea. I don't know what's the game isn't even dubbed. It's just Japanese audio, which is actually not that bad because I can just skip the dialogue even faster. So I have no idea what the hell's happening in this game. The combat is like a watered-down version of Dragon's Crown. I'm playing this. I'm like, can I play Dragon's Crown instead? This isn't that fun. I'm like totally giving the review away. So yeah, I'm not. It's one of those games like that probably should have just stayed in Japan. I'm playing that.
I think it's good to bring these games over just because it probably doesn't cost that much.
Yeah, I don't know.
Price-wise, and I
gotta review it. That's why I'm saying it.
And it probably does have an audience, and it probably does have I think it is based off some sort of anime or like a hodgepodge of animes or something. Where it'll find some footing here, but I had a feeling you probably weren't gonna dig it too much.
Yeah, it's not my type, man. And then I'm playing Atelier Rorona because I'm the resident Atelier guy now. Like I said, about the last Atelier game, it's a good game if you're into that sort of stuff. I do appreciate the fact that it kind of takes the RPG thing and twists it on its head. It's like instead of focusing on combat, it focuses more on the alchemic part. Combining all this shit. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's not my thing, but I at least understand what they're trying to go for, and that's okay. And this is it's called Atelier Rorona Plus, which is actually a remake of the one that came out on PS3. Chad Ackerman actually reviewed that game. I don't know if I'll be giving it as much praise as he did. But but yeah.
I think I actually reviewed that game.
Did you for your old site, right?
PS3, right? For Atlas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did. Years ago, I reviewed that game. Actually, did not hate it.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
I didn't know what was happening. I think I actually completed that game, and I left there. I'm like, oh, that was definitely a JRPG. But
that J is very prominent in that JRPG.
It's a capital JRPG. Like, I think it was serviceable, and I think if you're a fan of the franchise, you'll probably dig it because you're probably looking for those same mechanics and that certain style of play. But that's actually the only thing. It's funny you mentioned that. I was like, why does it sound so goddamn familiar? I was like, oh yeah, because you reviewed it.
Yeah, exactly. That happens. Like, did I review? Like, I did review that game, didn't I? Because so many years just passed.
It's weird when you're seeing reboots of games you've reviewed like years ago. Like that, we're getting to that territory, which seems kind of insane. Especially when like the Mass Effect trilogy HD comes out, and it's like, oh my god, I reviewed these games. Like, I have to re-review this shit again.
Yeah, I remember when they had a collection that came out like last year or 2 years ago. I was like, wait, how do I review this? I reviewed these games already. I don't. Yeah, but you're right. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, I'll just review it from my angle. Like, this is what I thought of the game. Like you said, it's not that bad. It's just for a certain demographic of people. Anyway, Thomas, what have you been playing, man?
I bought the Mass Effect 3 bundle. Sorry, not Mass Effect, Max Payne bundle. That's all. So yeah, I've been diving through lots of doors in slow motion, pretty much.
Yeah. But that face he does, he's like.
Yeah. First, I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool.
You know that's you're playing Max Payne 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, those two at the moment.
Yeah, I love that the face is Sam Lake, pretty much the head of Remedy.
The thing is that I've seen him before I played the game, so it's like now, like when I see the Max Payne face, I think it's Sam Lake, not like I don't see Sam Lake and think Max Payne. I see Max Payne and think Sam Lake.
How great is it when you see those Quantum Break videos when he's like, we want to mend in like TV and video game at the same time, and I'm like, jump through a window! Because he even kept his haircut and everything.
Exactly.
Just waiting for
he looks exactly the same. I don't know how he does it, but he looks exactly the same as he does in that game.
Yeah, because I think they did the whole facial capture thing. Was like, oh no, we need a face for that. He's like, I'll do it, whatever. Like, who's gonna know? Like, that's Max Payne. Max Payne is talking really nicely and has a weird accent. Like, what is going on?
Anything else?
No, that's it for me.
All right, Ryan, what about you, man?
I have not had much time to play games lately, other than the game of
building badges in the Steam summer sale. All right.
No, I haven't been building badges. No, I just sold my trading cards, but
playing the market.
I was gonna say it's just been refreshing the Steam sale page for lately, and a little bit of Hearthstone, but otherwise that's been it.
Oh, Hearthstone is so good.
Yeah, I'm still playing a little bit of that, but that's it. And then, I'm gonna be reviewing Valiant Hearts Great War. I'm reviewing the 360 version, so I'm looking forward to playing that.
You didn't start playing that yet, did you?
No, I just downloaded it before we started. So.
Oh man, I wanted to ask you about it. Okay, save that for next week, I guess.
Yeah, next week.
What about you, man?
I'm playing this cute little indie game called Spoiler Alert for review. Doesn't come out till next week, but I think we'll probably review up sometime over the weekend, maybe, assuming I get around to, because I'm lazy. Also playing a lot of Titanfall because my younger brother just bought an Xbox One, and he was like, "Hey, let's get this I want to play this Titanfall thing." I was like, "Oh, awesome!" So it's good to play that with a person. So I'm back playing Titanfall, and I forgot how much fun it is, especially when you're playing with someone who's kind of got your back, or like kind of knows how kind of a train wreck you are playing video games. So. Good support, and I might do some Battlefield 4 also tonight, so get a good squad going, And I don't know, maybe I'll probably play something that I bought off Steam. Like, I should probably try Far Cry 3. Like,
You should.
I confess to...
Ryan's like, yes.
I confess to only playing maybe half hour of it and saying, "Oh, this looks like a good game."
I think you just need like an hour, like once you get past kind of the story stuff and
when you start just running around the island, that's when it really starts getting fun.
Yeah, because that's what I feel like. It's like after the first hour or so, like when it introduces the story and all that stuff, and it just tells you, okay, go on this island and go have fun. That's when it's great. So.
Yeah, so I can't wait for that. So we'll see what happens.
Get in a fight with a tiger, or like have have a pack of hyenas like rip guys apart and tell me that's not fun. Because it is.
That sounds good. George, are you going to try out the Expedition DLC for Titanfall?
I already have it. The maps are really cool. It's just one of them is my favorite is the War Games one, where it's a malfunctioning simulator.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
So it's like, an urban area, but then the walls give away, and it's like there's a lot of graphical glitches that are purposely there, like, oh, there's supposed to be a tank here that's just phasing in and out, or like, it's cool when you kill an opponent, it's almost like if you kill the simulator, so you're technically fighting, the players are supposed to be simulators, so when you kill someone, they just kind of dissipate into like digital nonsense. And then there's one that's like a jungle one where it's like high trees and looks like Endor, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, I played that one at E3. That was pretty cool.
That one's really neat. I'm forgetting what that third one is, but the
Isn't it like an industrial complex or something?
Oh, correct. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. Like more Titanfall. There's a huge update coming where they're gonna put like Titan emblems on, and they add a couple of new modes, and they've been really current with just like updating and like balance tweaks. So now when you put your Titan on autopilot, he's gonna use like abilities, which is kind of neat. So. Because a lot of times if a Titan's like, if you leave a Titan on autopilot, it just shoots, and like occasionally we'll use a vortex shield and like never really fire its missiles or do like electric smoke or anything like that. So hopefully this update will be more like if he gets rodeoed, he's gonna know to use an electric smoke, which will be great. But we'll see what happens. So like I said, if you have a multiplayer game, you have to constant support. That's how you keep the community happy, and that's how you keep them playing your fucking game. So good job, Respawn.
Awesome. All right, so that's the show. Got to pimp a couple of things. So we've opened up a store where we're selling T-shirts and stuff.
T-shirts.
Merchandising.
Merchandising, don't you know? Me and Jack Kirby used to say, we need to merchandise Spider-Man and Iron Man.
I'm thinking more of yogurt from Spaceballs. Merchandising. Spaceballs the T-shirt. Spaceballs the coloring book.
I always think of just Stan Lee and Jack Kirby just having these discussions. Meanwhile, they're not making any money because they signed away because it's like we're just employees at Marvel. We don't own anything. It's like
oh man, it's a non sequitur, but my friend and I had a big discussion about that. These comic book creators that just pissed away, like not pissed away, but they sold the rights because they didn't know these characters would become iconic years later.
The way it worked is you were an employee at Marvel or DC, so anything you made was them, and you just made your salary and moved on. You didn't things like creative rights didn't really happen until like 20, 30 years ago, and people were like, no, Stan Lee should get some fucking credit for making Iron Man. Just saying, like
yeah. Oh, so, what inspired the conversation was because Bob Kane was getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In the article I read that from, they scolded the man so viciously, because Bill Finger should get some credit too.
The real creator was Bill Finger, but apparently he didn't really like speak up for himself. It's just like if you were in the know, it's like this was actually Bill Finger that did most of the work. But Bob Kane was just a better businessman. He knew how to like sell Batman, and you know what? He was part of why it became so popular. Yeah, the initial idea for Bill Finger, which is like, well, Bill Finger was kind of like a maniac, so yeah, he died penniless, depressed, and like insane. But that seems, yeah. I mean, I'd probably die insane too, knowing I made Batman and had like zero money from it.
Yeah, right.
But, I mean, I'm not one of those people that paint Bob Kane to be the devil. I paint him to be just, probably like a dickhead business guy. It's like, no, because Bill Finger was like an intern. He was just like, whatever, that's a great idea, but no one's gonna listen to you. I'm Bob Kane. My last name's Kane. It's awesome. They're gonna listen to me.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. So yeah, we got a couple of shirts. We have a bunch of different designs too. So just go to our Twitter @DualShockers, and the link is there somewhere.
Yeah. Soon we're gonna do like a proper like storefront on the website where you can go and like click on it and.
Yeah, this is like a little bit of a test run, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the keep it on the Twitters. We should probably put it on this post. But yeah. Yeah, but like I said, the shirts are super cheap. I think Al said they were like $14 plus shipping, which is only a couple of dollars. But some of the designs are really cool. Like, we have our DualShockers one, which is awesome. So you should all have a DualShockers shirt. So when you see our cons, we'll be like, hey, man, you're a Thunderbolt. Like, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. You listen to us, man.
Yeah, I like to be able to identify my own people in a crowd. That way, when shit goes down, I know who to save first. And it's a Thunderbolt. I'll see you, dude. In the light blue phone. So yeah, there's up there from really cool designers, a lot of cute like Marvel. There's also comic book and / video game stuff, and I would want to wear some of those shirts, which is really cool because I was like, oh, we got a bunch of shirts. I'm like, oh man, these are look terrible. But no, I actually am a big fan of a lot of those designs, and I was just like, oh, this actually looks neat. My favorite one is the Zelda one where it's Link's and he goes, my name is not Zelda, and he looks all pissed off. Like that's a really good one. But,
that's great. All right, and as always, make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube under DualShockers. Just DualShockers, nothing else. Thank you guys for listening and watching the show. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but I think we pulled it out. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Thomas Luke.
I'm going back to my backlog.
Ryan Meisler.
I'm going to go back to my backlog of my backlog.
And George Jimenez.
Guys, we are transmedia. We've got T-shirts, we've got merchandise, we've got podcasts. We're selling everything, man.
We are an empire.
What empire?
All right, guys. We'll see y'all next week. Later.
Bye-bye.